Well, hello everybody and welcome to our live stream. I hope you guys are doing great tonight. We are doing good. It's about 70 degrees outside. Very fall-like weather, but thank you for being here. If you're new to us and catching this on the replay, if you're on the replay, just hang out. More people will come in and we'll chat more. If you're new to us, make sure you like the channel, subscribe, hit the alert bell, all of that good stuff. Leave us a comment about what's going on, or you like anything, if you need us to do anything for you guys. So we're here. But you guys just sit back and wait a couple minutes and we'll get started shortly. I hope everybody's doing great tonight. Leave a comment, speak up, say hello, tell me how you're doing, what's going on in your world. Thank you for being here. Let me get you guys pulled up on the big screen so I can read the comments a little better. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing, but let me get the chat pulled up to where it's a little bit larger. Some of us old people need to be a little larger, you know what I mean? So, Muggish, soccer time, good to see ya. Hello, everybody. Cinderella, hello, soccer time. How are you, everybody doing? Hope you guys are all doing great tonight. Thank you all for saying hello to each other. It's very important to acknowledge everybody else in the chat, so I thank you all for doing that. That's very great. Busty's Boo, that's great. Good to have you. I hope everybody's doing great tonight. What's going on in y'all's world? Let me know. Let me know if you have a YouTube channel. Let me know what you're doing, what you're into. If you need some advice, that's why I'm here. I am your online YouTube life coach. So, Bestie Boo, good to see you. Soccer time. It's a beautiful day where we're at. I hope it's a great day where you guys are at. I feel like I got some allergies going on today, but you know, I'm tough. So I think I can handle it. Okay, great. Get everybody have to get you. Bestie Boo says hi, but I have to go. Well, Bestie Boo, we're going to miss you. Thank you for coming in, but I understand. I'm just glad you're doing well. I'm doing a little paperwork housekeeping. That's all I'm doing. Lawson, hey my friend, how are you? Good to see you. How are you tonight? What's going on? How'd your track meet go? Track meet this weekend, right? How'd you do? I think you had a track meet this weekend, you were telling me. All right. Doing good. Yeah, I'm doing good today. Good. Hey, there's Glenn's Hobbies. Glenn, I haven't seen you in a while. How have you guys been? Wow, it's been a while since we've seen you. Hello, Glenn's Hobbies. It's good to have you here. How are you been? Lawson been doing pretty good. Today's been got a little bit of allergies, a little bit of eye allergy. You know what I mean? One of my eyes is acting up, but other than that, I'm pretty good. I'm trying to get prepared for the winter, right? Or the fall, because, and it's interesting that Glenn's Hobbies in the house, because that's what I got to do. Winter's coming on, so I stay indoors a whole lot because of my health during the winter, right? So now I got to get my hobbies, my inside hobbies ready to go. But right now I'm having eyeball troubles. Yeah, it's good to see you. I'm glad you're doing good, Glenn. How's your channel going? You got anything exciting going on your channel? Any new videos or anything? Lawson? It was a cross country. I got 81 out of 350. So not too bad. But not great since 8th grade, facing 9th grade. So terrible. And it was very chilly, hilly course. Hot Springs, the horse racing area. I know the area. But look, that's actually not too bad. 81 out of 350, that's really not that bad. Just think if it was 81 of the bottom 350, you would have been number 1 out of 81. So think about it that way. Dark Side Gaming is in the house saying hello, hello, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Everybody said hello to everybody. My channel's not doing too good. Why is that, Hobbies? Glenn's, why is that? And just so you guys know, if you don't know, my camera's facing me this way, but I'm reading the chat over here. When you get old, the bigger the chat is, the easier it is to read. So I got the chat pulled up on TV. Low views. Well, crap. Glenn's Hobby, I think, where am I at? Who am I? Okay, this is me. I'm going to go to your channel real quick. So you guys subscribe to Glenn's Hobbies if you haven't done it yet. You know, I think we're all having that trouble. I mean, I've talked to a lot of YouTubers, and all of us, let me say mainstream or normal YouTube channels, I think, are having the same trouble. Low views, are you ready? We are. We're decorating this weekend, Chef. We got friends coming over. They're going to help Lorelai decorate the house for the Halloween party, which we're live streaming the Halloween party again this year on Saturday the 25th at 5 p.m. So we're going to be live streaming that again. So I want you guys all to come chime into the live stream. You can vote for who has the best costume. Would be great. You got almost 8,000 subscribers. You're doing good there. You know, I was reading something, and I got to do better myself. I've been working on video topics. Dark Side, we're doing pretty good. I got to get over to read it. Sorry. Dark Side, we're doing good. Thank you for coming in. How are you? How's your channel going? Are you all passing out candy? Well, we don't do that. We don't pass out candy because, one, I would eat all the candy. And I don't want kids stealing my candy or taking my candy or eating my candy. Now, we don't really hand out candies because of the dog, right? Over the years, we've learned that when you have doggies, it's better not. They just get upset. I have to optimize my channel in general so much just to level up. I know, Glenn, I'm working on mine too. I have issues too. And I'm trying to figure out how to fix it. And, it's really not about the number of subscribers we have, but how many views we get, right? And that's the problem. We got to get those damn views. Glenn's Hobbies, Dark Side is checking you out. Think about YouTube as a project, not as a chore. Try harder, you'll succeed. If you give up, you can't. And you can't give up on it. One thing I've thought about over the years in my big niche is I decided about 2 years ago, because YouTube is quite frustrating. But I decided about 2 years ago that I'm just not going to give up. I'm going to be one of these channels that doesn't quit, that doesn't give up. I really am. My channel is growing way slower now for some reason than it has been in the past. We're still getting views, but not as much as I would like. We're not generating as many memberships. We do have memberships as I would like. But, we are still there. And my goal truly is just not to give up. Are you dressing up? Well, Chef, I really wasn't planning on. Lorelai and all the girls are dressing up. Everybody's dressing up. But I don't know, man. I'm not really in the mood of putting on a costume. So I don't know yet. I got some old costume stuff. I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest. Absolutely, yeah. I don't want to quit anyway. Yeah, that's what I mean. But you got to just keep persevering, right? We just got to keep working at it. And I know you know all of this. You got way more subscribers than I do. So I know that you've been working at it a long time, but it is so hard to keep growing, to keep getting those views. I think one thing I'm trying to do better at is my thumbnails are horrible. I wish I knew how to do thumbnails better. But I've been researching, and it says, look, when you put a human face with an expression on a thumbnail, it's a better thumbnail. And in the past, I haven't done that a lot. I have to learn, I have to figure out how to create thumbnails where you can cut out a human being and put it in another picture. I don't know how to do that. Dark Side said, I got a gaming channel that I've had for 3 or 4 years. Great. Everybody subscribe to Dark Side Gaming. I think you would look great in a Batman costume. I'd be an awful fat Batman. It's very hard to keep views highs. And I think at some point, our audience levels off, because you got to remember, people that are into your subject matter is, maybe it's only 10% of YouTube that watches YouTube. Only 10% of the people, like the Philippine American couple in the adventure world that I live in, which is kind of a big shotgun. There's only so many people that either want to see cooking videos, travel videos, immigration, relationships, dating, all of that stuff. There's only so many people that want to see that. What did you discover? What did you discover, if you don't mind sharing? Kanisha's in the house. Everybody say hello to Kanisha. So Dark Side is a couple of suggestions. Use hashtags. Yes, I use hashtags. Post more often or stable, regularly. Do trends and popular stuff currently. I think my niche is too broad. Mine too. I'm too much of a shotgun. In the Philippine world, because, we're the adventures of the Philippine American couple. So right there, I should have started our channel and said, The Adventures of David and Lorelai, right? And then we could have went into the whole bigger world. But once I put Philippine and American there, I kind of brought my audience to a smaller realm. But I don't know. But I think we cover too many topics too. Kanisha, my day's going pretty good. I was really tired today. Really, to be honest. I got a bad heart, right? And so I had one of those days where, I just felt really sluggish. I'm trying to do this live stream, as part of my job to keep my YouTube going. But today, to be honest, I'm kind of sluggish. I don't feel like myself because my heart's acting up. But I'm doing okay. So thank you for that. Church tonight? No, I stayed home and rested and hung out. I'm assuming you did since you asked the question, Chef. Because it says, let GPChat help you with anything about your channel. Okay, how? Can I ask you that, Glenn? Glenn's Hobbies. Everybody check out Glenn Hobbies if you haven't done it. How do you use it? You know what I mean? That's the question. How do you use it? Do you use it to help you select titles? I do that. I kind of practice titles around to see what they say or think. You know what I mean? That maybe sounds better, words better, shorter. Also in the description, I use that a little bit there. So many ways, host. All right. So, yeah, it is. And I use it some, but I also still I don't want people to start thinking that we're not authentic, right? So I really want everybody that comes to our channel to think we're organic, that we're real people, that we make mistakes, that we screw up, that we try really hard to provide information, entertainment, and all of that good stuff. And by the way, make sure you give us a thumbs up while you're here, is what I'm trying to do. So we do use that to help with the creative writing side of things. So I do that. I do it also. YouTube also has a new thing where they help you out with potential topics that might work good for your channel. I've been studying and working on that. But I think one of my biggest issues is crappy thumbnails. Just be prepared for brainstorming. I did that today. I was really tired today. And you use ChatGPT for brainstorming. I gotcha. Yeah, YouTube also has a thing on their page that you can use for brainstorming. It's probably all the same thing, to be honest. But I did some brainstorming today myself. I was resting because I was really tired and didn't really have anything on my brain. So I sat down, or I lay down, to be honest, and I was laying there and I just started thinking about new videos that I need to make, and I came up with about 10 of them. So I'm going to start working on those over the next, few weeks. I got to get back. Here's something that I have to do. I love doing live streams, and live streams are great, and they work really well to build your channel. But I do need to get back to posting a video every week. My schedule used to be weekly. I've kind of gotten away from that since I do so many live streams, but I need to go back to posting weekly. Now, the other thing I found very enjoyable, that's something YouTube does, is YouTube now is taking your live streams and they're cutting a short out of it. Now, you don't get to choose which part of the live stream they turn into a short, but when they get that done, I go back and look at it, and if it's something good, I go ahead and put it on as a short. You just click it, YouTube takes care of it and goes on as a short. So, you love creating thumbnails? Well, maybe you ought to do a video about how to do thumbnails. I just don't know how to, or what software. I have Filmora software. So, but I haven't figured out how, if I took a picture of me like now, how can I get this cut out of me on top of something else? We used to use this back in my teaching days, a thing called Picture It software, which you could do all of that, and it was real simple. But the new stuff is kind of complicated for an old guy. You have a pile of raw videos, got enough time for editing? Yeah. That's the thing. We have lots and lots of raw video too. Lots. And we have a lot of things that we can, hang on. I'm gonna write down. One thing I do, and I tell everybody this, look, if you don't do this, maybe you should. I keep notebooks, and I write a lot of stuff in my notebooks. So I'm gonna write down what you just, Pixel Lab. So so I don't have to remember it. I'm going to have to go. Have a great night. Appreciate you, Lawson. I hope you get good rest. I'm glad you're doing well. Yeah, it's all right. You know, it is what it is, Chef, but I appreciate that. All right. So, well, I use the desktop a lot. I have a desktop and a phone, but I do the video editing on my desktop because I'm used to that. You know, I grew up in an age when I taught, everything was done on a computer, not a phone, right? And so I'm kind of used to that. So I do that. I do shorts on my phone. Now, I wish we have an iPhone. One thing that really bothers me, I wish YouTube would do this. You can't change the thumbnail on an iPhone through YouTube. They won't let you do that. If you have an Android, you can change the thumbnail. So, like if you got a short on your studio page, right, and you want to upload it, you upload it through the studio. You can't change the thumbnail. YouTube picks it, and I don't like that. You tried multilingual subtitles and it helps? Really? I'll have to study that one because I don't know how. Let me write that down. Give me a second. I'm not for sure if I've clicked that or is this the one when you're on YouTube Studio, you go in and you got to translate it? Or is it one that automatically does it? Because I wouldn't have the time to go in and translate everything into subtitles. But we got a whole bunch of people watching in the background, so you guys come forward. One, make sure you subscribe to Chef Lawson and Glenn's Hobbies for me. Come forward, give us a chat, give us a thumbs up, let us know what's going on in your world. But the other thing, we try hard just to do, you know, I saw a channel. Let me look at your channel again. I got you pulled up here. Let's see. Wow. Chayote. I remember cooking with those. When my wife and I first got married, we would cook, you know, we cook with those. I didn't know what those were. I think your thumbnails are very pretty. I think you ought to put your picture in your thumbnails. I mean, the research that I saw the other day that says people like to have a photo of somebody in the thumbnail, that they find it more interesting. So that's what I'm trying to do. But you got some good videos, you got some good views. But you're having the same problem we're all having. It doesn't seem like we are. I've talked to a lot of channels. A lot of us channels under 25,000 subscribers, you know, we're struggling. Just tap the pin sign. The pin sign. Okay. Let me write that down for the subtitles. Oh, well, I understand that, to be honest, about being shy. One thing I will tell you for sure, you can't be shy on YouTube. If you want to grow, my wife used to be that way. But she's gotten much better the more she practices. And what I'll tell you, from somebody who did public speaking my entire life, I'm very comfortable in very large crowds and on the camera speaking. So what I'll tell you, just do it. You are going to look back and go, man, I am a horrible public speaker. That's what you're going to think, but you're just going to keep doing it. What I would tell you to do is just be you, smile, be happy. But I really believe if you could do hobby live streams, which you probably have, I haven't looked, to be honest. Let's see here. Well, Okay, so you're saying we can change the thumbnail? Well, you can on regular videos. What I was talking about is a short. If you go in, at least on my desktop, I can't do it on an iPhone. I think you can do it on an Android. But even on the desktop, I can't go in here. It won't let me change thumbnails on a short, on any of those. And that's what frustrates me, because YouTube picks it and I think, oh my God, that's a horrible thumbnail picture of me. I don't want that. I would want something different. So, but YouTube is the way it is. It's like here. Mine says on the desktop, you can change the thumbnail on YouTube mobile app, which is true unless you have an Apple. Apple doesn't support this. So I dug deep down into that a while back and found that Apple doesn't allow you to do it. And we don't have anything but Apple phones. Now okay, I got you. Putting the subtitles through Google Translate. Yes, all right. Okay. And all right. So you probably have it a little bit easier than we do when it comes to that. I thought about buying an Android phone just for that. But, that's kind of wasteful. Do you guys do a lot of live streams on your channel? But I do believe, I understand being shy, but a lot of your stuff, you got a bunch of shorts. You got to do you, but I would really think, let's see how many live streams you guys have. You have a lot of live streams. Your thumbnails are pretty. Let me look at one of your live streams. I'm going to pull one of your live streams up. Yeah, I remember I watch some of your stuff from time to time, actually, because I like the cooking stuff. I need to go back and watch this live stream because I need to make this dish is what I need to do for the holidays. Preparing dansum plum. I do think, to be honest, I like what you're doing on your live streams, but I think if you were there a little bit more face to face, because, simply put, people like to see women. They don't really like seeing old, fat, ugly guys like me. My latest long form video has 113 languages in the subtitle. Holy crap. Holy crap. That's amazing. Do you believe that it helps? Because I haven't been doing that, to be honest. Wow. That's a lot. That's impressive, everybody. Wow. I'll have to try to do better with that. I'll have to start studying and getting into how to do subtitles. What I do want to do is I want to go back, because we've been we have over 1,200 videos. There's some videos in the early days that I did really shittily. I mean, they're horrible videos. So I want to go back and revisit those topics and try to do them better today. But everything takes so much time on the internet, on YouTube, uploading, editing, remembering what you did. Been thinking about learning about dubbing, but I don't think it applies to my channel. All right. Well, I know a lot of times when we do shorts, I think there's just a thing that you click and it does automatically subtitles. Pedro's in the house. Pedro, I used to have a cat named Pedro. I did. It was my kitty cat until it got ran over by a car. What do I think about Charlie Kirk? Well, I think he was a fine, outstanding human being, father, husband. I never met him personally or anything like that, but I don't never watched a lot of his stuff. I think it's a tragedy. I am saddened by his death. I think it's horrible. I will not say the name of the murderer because I don't want to give the murderer power. But I think it's shame when anybody is assassinated, harassed, beaten, called names for using their First Amendment speech. I think we all have that right and we all have to stand up for that. Even if I don't like your speech, you have a right to it. Yeah, I would agree with you. For English, yeah, I would agree with you about the titles and the English, Glenn's. I agree with you. I got to do better. I just don't know how to do better. And, I don't mean to be sexist. I really don't. But one thing I know is, and one thing I don't like about YouTube, and I guess TV in general, the media, anything that you talk about, sex and violence sells, right? So these channels with these girls dancing around doing nasty stuff, what I consider inappropriate, blow up. If, I told somebody that we have a channel that we work with a little that we know as a very good channel. She's a female. She has a great channel. She's very clean cut, right? Her and I could do the same stuff, and because she's pretty and I'm not, she would get more views. Just the way it is. Do I like that? No, but it is the way it is. The other thing I don't like is the joke, the harassment, things like that. Trolls. I enjoy trolls because I like to torture them and take advantage of them being in my channel and then getting rid of them. So it's hard for decent channels to do well, I think. Wholesome channels. Pedro, you're right. And I don't want, look, my wife is extremely beautiful. I mean, I'm just telling you guys, this is the way it is. And she does, this is part of her channel too. We co-own the channel, we work together. Actually, it's her channel, to be honest. I just came along because I was bored and she didn't have time to work it, so I spend more time on it, but it's really her channel. But the bottom line is, she's gorgeous. She speaks well. She does a lot of videos and live streams with me. But I would never let her do anything disrespectful. And she wouldn't want to, is the big difference. My wife doesn't want to be slutty on the air. And I don't want her to be. So we don't go down that route when she's here. So, it's kind of a mixed bag. But I do think you're a good person. And the best thing you could truly do is show your face more. I got a friend, another YouTuber, that is a small channel. He was trying to grow and he kind of got burned out. I don't know. A lot of people get burned out because, they don't gain 20,000 subscribers in a month, right? They start going, wait a minute, I joined to make money and here I am barely having anybody. And the other thing I believe is and this is what I'm telling you about being shy, is we confront our weakness. So for instance, I'm going to give you some examples. For instance, I'm fat and I'm ugly and I'm old. I embrace it, right? So when people come on here and try to make fun of me being fat, well, it's not going to do you any good because I admit I'm fat, right? I got my other friend who lives close by. He has a deformity in his eye and he's really shy about it. I'm like, well, just talk about it. Be upfront about it. Say, here's what's going on. That way nobody can make fun of you. If you're shy, when you do something, say, oh, my friends, forgive me, I'm a little nervous and shy. It's okay. But once you acknowledge those things, then you personally get over those things. That's the psychology behind that. If I have a weakness and I acknowledge it and talk about it, and it goes away. Naturally just goes away. Yeah, I know you don't. And that's what I mean. You're a good, wholesome channel like ours, and we suffer for it, which isn't quite fair. And I know YouTube isn't out there punishing us because we don't do bad stuff, right? I just know that even in the world today, sex sells, violence sells, right? And if you're not into that or being mean to people, it's hard to do. Well, and that's kind of the thing is, Glenn, and I agree with you. It's better to be polite and have self-respect. 1000%. No, here's one thing I tell young people, or I used to tell my younger females back in the day when I was still teaching college. Because it seemed like this, okay, let me explain it. It's a real simple concept. Nobody can take your dignity away. You are the only one that can give it away. We are the only ones that can give away our dignity. Somebody can't take our dignity. We have to be willing to give it up. So self-respect for yourself, you can have that. And nobody's going to take that away. It's all about how you respond and deal with things. And that's why I like to confront trolls head on. I don't mind trolls. I don't mind, I have a lot of people, what I do to help in live streams, a lot of times is I'll have people come in and go, oh, so are you gay? And I go, well, what does it matter if I'm gay or not? If you're gay, it's okay. Look, this is a channel and I go on to do this. In this channel, it's okay if you're gay. We don't care. We don't care where you're from. We don't care what you look like, what sex you are, what language you speak, what country you come from. We respect everybody here. And 90% of the trolls that come in and try to start that, they go, oh. And they either stick around and become a follower or they go away because you're not biting on them. So self-respect for yourself is all we have. And as much as I would like for our channel to blow up and we can actually make money on YouTube, we definitely are not going to do too many I do stupid stuff, trust me, but it's not intentional. It's just the way I am. Pedro says they're new here. Did you subscribe, like, and share, and hit that alert bell? I appreciate that. Our channel, what's weird is our channel is about you, Pedro. It's about you. It's about Glenn's channel. It's about everybody because I'm here for you. I can teach you almost anything. I can share anything. We can talk about anything. We can help with anything that we possibly can. We share our life experiences. And in doing that, we try to educate and help people, and we try to become educated ourselves. So we do travel videos, cooking videos, immigration stuff, dating videos about women and men, relationship stuff. We do goofy videos. We do unboxing videos because we buy a lot of crap from Amazon. Just wait until this week. Oh, I need to write that down. I got to remember, I got a bunch of Amazon stuff coming in this week. I need to do some unboxing videos of that. So we do everything about my wife and I. So I'm American, she's Filipina. And it's about merging our two worlds together. We've lived in the Philippines, we live in America. We just talk openly and honestly about almost anything. If you have a thought, we're not going to chastise you for it. That's what we do. Our channel, we believe, is to have an open dialogue with everybody. Some people find it boring because I'm not going to fight with you. I don't have any boobs to show you. I'm not a drunk. I don't do, Great, ask questions. We have a lot of people from all over the world, to be honest, that we become really good friends with that started out wanting to just be around the English language. I understand that. And I try to do my best with that. And part of in my teaching, people tell me when I'm ranting, like now, that people actually learn the definition of words that I'm talking about. And I'm one of these guys from an educational standpoint. If I give you a word and you don't know what it is, ask. I'll tell you the definition of it. Politics is fine on this channel. A lot of channels won't touch politics. I don't have a problem with it as long as you're respectful for everybody else's point of view. Because I think everybody should be allowed to have their point of view. I just do. I'm really big on this. And I respect other people's point of view, even though I may not agree with them. And I would hope that we could all have an interesting dialogue about this. And this is how I taught class. I taught class for 25 years at a college level, and I like to engage. So you're good to have you here. Any questions, just let me know. Make sure you do that. We got a lot going. We also do fundraising for, I have a Rice for Life program that I'm going to be putting out. If you want to know more about that, let me know. We're running up, we're going to be, we donate rice to the Philippines every year, every New Year. So we do a charity thing. We do some of that. Not real public. We don't brag about it. We just kind of do it. And we've been doing it for years. We have parties and live streams, and we let everybody have a glimpse into our world is what we try to do. We hope people might find it interesting, the stuff we get ourselves into. That's what we do. We share our dogs with us. You know, we had 2 dogs. My dog Daisy died earlier this year, which has still devastated me. We have another dog that's still alive, Lily. So we've done a lot of videos with our dogs because they're part of our life. We've done videos about how to travel overseas with dogs. We've done cruise ship videos, fishing videos, everything that we do. We just share our lives. So, and we try to do it respectfully. But I will say this. For all of the people that know me online, they absolutely know that I won't blow smoke up your butt, so to speak. I will stand by what I say. If I make a mistake, I make a mistake. It's okay. But I'm one of these people that's I believe that I am very honest and truthful about my opinions and my thoughts. It's okay if you disagree with them, but I'm not going to give you a bunch of garbage. Not going to give you a bunch of garbage. Yeah, let's see, we got to do so much stuff. But we're happy that you're here. We're happy that Glenn's here. We like Glenn's channel. One thing that we have to do, I know this is a hard way to get views, Glenn's channel, but, you know, reminding everybody that you're out there, like coming to these live streams is a good way to let people know that you're there. You know, it takes a lot of work. And a lot of times you don't get real subscribers doing live streams, like coming to live streams like this, who will come back and see you again and again and again and be a part of your group. But maybe only 1 or 2 out of 10 people do that. But if you can get 10% of people that come to you to come back and watch over and over, then you're doing really good, I believe. You know, and we have to understand that, for instance, my channel has about 4,100 subscribers. But over the years we've been doing this, we've had over 15,000 people subscribe to the channel. But only 4,100 have stuck. And our community keeps growing. It does. We have a lot of real good people that reach out to us on Facebook and what do you do? Messenger, right? Yeah, Facebook and Messenger. And then my email address is there on my YouTube channel page. Our PayPal account is there. People email me on a regular basis, and I try to build a relationship. Glenn's channel. I try to, everybody that, one thing I commit myself is I respond to every comment, good, bad, or ugly. I respond to every comment. That's something that I've dedicated. It takes a lot of time and effort, especially if you got a video, you know, that has a lot of comments. But I think it's important to do that. So you just got to keep working at it, Glenn's channel, like I do. Maybe we can figure out how to live stream together, do things together. You got to maybe do partnerships. what do they call that? Collaborations, maybe? Let's see here. We've been shopping on Amazon the last couple of days. We got some things coming in for our Halloween party. So we're looking at the Amazon. We spent money on Amazon. So I have to go back and look at something on Amazon here while I'm here working. But obviously we love Amazon because Amazon's great. We hate Amazon. It's like going to Walmart. Let me see. Wonder how I do that. I want to upload a video on Amazon, but I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that. I'm trying to load, I'm trying to figure out on Amazon. I want to drop a video. I don't want to do necessarily a review. I'm just, I might have to YouTube it, how to load a video on Amazon. Huh. I don't know. I might have to work on that tomorrow. I got too many tabs open on my computer. So I'm like, holy crap, I got so many things going on my channel. It's unbelievable. And now I'm trying to find a video I did the other day. I don't know where it went. It may still be on my phone. I may have to download it from my phone. But, oh my goodness gracious. Doing YouTube is hard, hard work, everybody. I'm telling you, man. I hope everybody's doing great tonight, by the way. Hope everybody is doing wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. See if I can, I gotta figure out what I did with that video. I need that video, it's what I need. But I don't know where it went. And I don't remember what I titled it. I'm hoping I got a copy on my phone still. But we'll have to see. I got some doggy videos. Oh, I need to write that. I need to work on Lily's videos. I got so many things I need to work on. If I could just get myself, my butt in the gear and do a good job, I'd be all right, maybe. I don't know. Crap. I got a whole bunch of video from a doggy cam that I set up, but the problem is it was motion censored, and apparently there's a plant in the background that was moving through the wind. You know, a little breeze from the ceiling fan in the house was doing this. So I got to go through all these videos and delete the ones that really don't have my dog on it. But I got to go back and look at them because I don't know if they have my dog on them or not. I don't want to delete any with the dog on it, so. Yeah, it's kind of weird weather here. We was in the upper 80s today. We're in the central part of America. It's October the 15th already. And it's really warm for this time of the year. We don't even know if we're going to have cool weather for Halloween. But we're going to decorate. We got friends coming over this weekend. And I guess they're going to help Lorelai, my wife, decorate the house. So that should be fun and interesting. Well, I don't know about fun, but it should be interesting. For them. For me, it's going to be just kind of boring. We are content creators today. Try something interesting here. I'm experimenting with this live stream. Trying to do some things a little different on this live stream. Looking at our membership stuff. I need to work on my membership stuff. I know I got a lot of videos here that I need to work on, so I'm trying to do that. Oh, I need to answer some messages, it looks like, while I'm sitting here. All right, let me see. I gotta figure out how to do that. Thank you, everybody. All right, I got that. I might have to do that. I got some work to do tomorrow, man. I got some YouTubing work to do. I need to get up and get some things done tomorrow. I got to start being a productive member of society. I do. We hope everybody's doing great, great, great. It's a beautiful evening where I'm at. Yes, it is. Trying to get stuff figured out. We're working on things. What is everybody working on? What are you guys working on out there? Let me know what's going on in y'all's world. Soul Lenders in the house. How are you, friend? What's going on with you? How are you doing these days? Good to see you. Hope your ankle's feeling good. What are you up to, Soul? I'm holding up okay. You holding up all right? Good. Nice, nice. How's school going? How's the girlfriend? What's going on in your world? Are you excited about anything? I'm trying to learn how to do computer stuff better. Yeah, I'm old, not very smart. So I'm trying to be better on the internet. I'm trying to get excited about the winter because the winter's coming. So I'm trying to find me a lot of stuff to do in-house because when it gets cold, I don't go outside a lot. So I'm always looking for stuff to do in here besides, so I got some hobby stuff I got to work on. And then try to get some YouTube stuff. You had your foot doctor appointment yesterday. How did it go? What did they tell you? Good news? Bad news? I have an echocardiogram next week myself, which basically is where they do like a sonogram of the heart. So they're going to, mixed news. All right. So good news, bad news. Do you still have to go ahead and have surgery, or are they going to not do surgery? Thank you all for the thumbs up, by the way, and say hello to each other. I get my pacemaker. Remember, I got a pacemaker, right? So this thing has started to beep, meaning the battery's going dead. So we're trying to get that scheduled, and I'll have that surgery in a couple of weeks, I hope, and get that over with. Hopefully before the end of November would be nice. So that's what's happening with us. Got to go to the heart doctor, get that all figured out, which shouldn't be a big ordeal. Okay, you got to go for foot surgery for sure. All right. Well, if you got to do it, you got to do it. You know what I mean? There's not a whole lot of other options for us, right? It's, I know it sucks. Any surgery is risky. Any surgery can have complications, but just believe in yourself, believe in the doctor, and know that it can and will be done, hopefully correctly. Bad news is the bump has gotten bigger. So that means the surgery is going to be more intense, right? Is that kind of what you're saying? So it's a bigger surgery, so to speak. But do the doctors feel confident that they can remedy the problem? That's the real question. And hopefully they can for you. Even if we don't like it, sometimes we got to do it, right? Oh, I hear sirens in my neighborhood. Well, not far away. I thought for a minute they were coming to get me. They're coming to get me. Hear them? Somebody help me. Somebody help me. They're coming to get me. I fought the law and the law won. I need to save that. So, all right, so you're going to have to take 3 weeks off for sure, maximum of 4, but they think 3 is going to do it, right? Okay. I think it stinks for you, being off work that long. Here's what I'm going to tell you, and I know they probably told you this, but when it comes to your feet particularly, if they say do not put any pressure on it for X amount of time, don't put any pressure on it for X amount of time. You don't want to rush your foot getting better. You really, and I know it sucks, but you got to really give it time, because what you have to understand is it's not like our hand where we can kind of, muck through. We have to walk on our feet. So if you don't want to have future problems, you really got to take it seriously and not use it until it's really healed. And then even after that, you got to be very careful about twisting it, turning it, hurting it, tweaking it, whatever it is you want to call it. So that's something I highly recommend. I was in a walk, I had almost, it took me 3 years easily to get to the point where I'm at now with the surgery that I had, my reconstruction surgery. It took me over 3 years to get to the point where I'm at now, and it's still not good for me now. I still have a lot of problems with it right now today. I think that it's best do before, because of how much a mom I think it's best. Well, you are going to miss a lot of work and a lot of time, right? So you're worried about all the money you're going to be missing, right? Which is understandable. And I don't think at your age you can apply for long-term disability or short-term disability, huh? You're at your feet all day long, right? And that's what I mean. I know that you work hard. You're a good guy. You put a lot of pressure on it. That's why, if you rush it today, here's what I'm going to tell you. And I'm an old guy. Remember, I have a lot of problems. I did a lot of stupid things as a young man. If you rush your foot to get better, I promise you, you're going to regret it when you're 30. So at your age now, the best thing you can really do is take the time and let it really heal before you go putting all that weight and stress and standing on it for hours. You got to really, I'm just giving you some advice as an old guy who's been there, done that. Don't rush it, because you're going to regret it in the future. Yeah, it's very, very unfortunate that you're going to miss so much work, and I understand that. And I don't assume, I guess I'm assuming that there is probably no light duty stuff that you could do where you sit and you're not on your foot. Is there any, we used to call it light duty, when somebody would be injured and needed to come back to work, and they would find them light duty. So maybe, I don't know, if you worked in the kitchen, you would do all the sit-down prep work. You could sit down at a bar stool and cut the potatoes and peel the carrots and stuff like that. Or, roll all, I don't know. Good. Now that's great. In and out surgery. So what I'll tell you from experience, that's a really good sign. If they don't got to keep you overnight, it's a really good sign. It's kind of like even my pacemaker. When I changed the pacemaker out, it's in and out surgery. Boom, 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 right? So not a big deal. When I had my knee, I've had knee replacement surgery also. When I had knee replacement surgery, what I found was amazing about that was they had me up and walking the same day. I think I stayed the night, one night. Next day I went home, because the day after the surgery, I was up and walking. Now that was a little crazy to me, but I was up and walking. Not very well, but I was walking in the hospital with health, right? And so I was really happy about that. What's the size? Let me see if I can find something to show you. Hang on, I'll show you. It's about this big, but it's round. So it's kind of rounded, but it's about this big. It would fit right in here. about the size of the palm of my hand is how big it is. And what they're going to do is literally just go in and cut me open. But I've had it done before, so it's not a big deal. They're going to come and go, woof, pop it out, plug it in, and we're going to be done. Wow. Only asking because Linder's dad had a pacemaker towards the end of his life, and it was the size of a small violin type deal. I think it was. Here. My current one is literally about this big. Maybe a little smaller. A little magnetic tray. It's right here. So, it's right there. It's going off. So it's not very big. The new one's going to be the same size. Now, that was weird. But the bigger part of it is, or the more important part is, your heart has 4 chambers, right? So the big part is how many leads or electrical wires do you have coming off of your heart or coming off your pacemaker to your heart. So sometimes people get 1, 2, and 3, and I have 3, so I have one of the more severe. So I have wires going to the 3 different chambers of my heart to make the heart work right. But it's all right. I'm good. I'm tough. Dave, I appreciate you surviving and having it just my dad, because I desperately miss him. And now every time I hear that you have a pacemaker, it makes me, well, that's good. And remember what I've talked about, that when somebody passes away, we got to think of the good things, not the sad things. We got to remember the good times, right? And we can do that. So, you know, at least that's what I try to do, to be honest. And I'll tell you, the older you get, the weirder, what is the word? Weirder life gets. Yeah. But you're a good guy, you know. You just keep being you. So how's the girlfriend going? You guys doing okay relationship-wise? Pat's in the house, says hello to everybody. Hello, good evening, Pat. You know, it's kind of weird. I did an experiment tonight, Pat, on my live stream. Because I'm trying to do some things with YouTube. And trying to grow. You know, Pat, everybody, Soul Linder, you might want to be aware of this. I did something a little different tonight. So tonight when I started this live stream, I didn't put any hashtags with it. And I'm going to tell you from my experience tonight and all the other times, if you're going to pop up and do live streams, putting hashtags for whatever reason, helps. Because we've had a whole lot less people. All of the regular people, for some reason, haven't been notified. Like even Pat. I've been on live for about an hour, and I don't think Pat was notified. So there's something weird going on when you just boom and don't put any tags or change the title. Pat Soul is asking if you want to know about the update of his foot. I'm sure he would. Pat's a good guy. I'm working on a bunch of video stuff for this winter, Pat. I'm trying to get better. I gotta do some videos. Pat says, what happened, brother Soul? Linda, yes, what happened, Soul? Soul's a good guy. He lives up in the cold winter. Sure, absolutely. Oh, Soul's going to have surgery on his foot. He's got like a, I don't know what you call it, Soul. Do they give you the name of what it is? But it's kind of like a bump in his foot or a mass. And if I understand right, Soul, that they're going to be able to cut it out and get you back to working in 4 or 5 weeks. So he's going to have that done. But it's a good thing is it's in an outpatient. Dennis says, hi, Pack. That's me, leader of the pack. Checking in on P&P Love Story. Hi, all. Well, I haven't seen the other P. So, Pat says, yep, Linder, not good. Pat saying hello to you, Dennis. Dennis, did you decide on any of the beautiful women you showed me? Lorelai was asking. My wife asked me last night. She's like, did you do a live stream yet? And, last night. Did you just get off of a live stream? And I said, no, I did one on Monday. She said, well, why is Dennis sending you pictures of pretty girls? And I'm like, well, they're not for me, So you almost got me in trouble, Dennis, but she understood because she knows you. So she's like, oh, all right, I understand. But I'm like, no, he's not sending them to me. Let me look. Yeah, did you send it to me on Facebook or did you send it to me on email? How did you send it, Soul? And I'll show everybody. Anything is in the possible. I saw the word insomnia and started to try to say insomnia, blah, blah, blah. Good to see you. I know, I have the same problem time to time. Anyfin's in the house. I appreciate him. He has a great channel. He's growing like weeds. He's going to be the next internet superstar. He's going to be as big as that pretty blonde girl that does saltwater fishing videos. Except for he's not pretty and he's not blonde. So, Pat saying hello to you. Oh, yeah, you can send it to me on Facebook or email, whatever you want to do. I'll show it. Sure. I show a lot of pictures that Dennis sends me. Pat saying, hey, they say what the lump was on your foot. Yeah. Do they give a name to the mass that's on your foot? Like a, lipoma and or a calcium deposit, something like that. Dennis, good evening and how are you? Everybody said hello to Dennis. Everybody said hello to Anyfin. You guys, let me throw out, we are still going to be working on the Rice for Life program. We got Halloween decorations going up this weekend. I bought, I don't know what to say. All these parties just seem to cost me a lot of money. I spent like 200 and something bucks on Amazon today for Halloween crap. And we still got to go to the grocery store and get more groceries for the party. And if it's hello to you, Pat. Messenger. All right, my friend. I see it now. It's the bump on the top of the foot, right? Is that what you're doing? Let me get this. Let me move my tripod. I really need to get a yaya. Does anybody want to volunteer to be my yaya? Because I have no money. because we pay for too many parties. So I think what we're talking about is right here, right, Solinder? So I think what they're going to do is come in here and probably shave that down or remove that. You're eating, what are you eating? Fish? Oh, you don't like, oh, there we go. Almost broke the camera. So I think he's going to have this bump removed off of his foot. Oop, hang on. Sorry, guys. No offense, Solinder, but when Dennis sends pictures of pretty girls, they're better than your foot. All right, but I understand now, right, man? Yep, the bump. It's in the second photo. Okay. And you're talking about the bump on the top, right, Sol? I acknowledge my weakness. Ooh, venison. I like venison. All right, look at the second photo. All right. Pat, he wants to show you the second photo. So you're talking about this bump, right? You're talking about the bump on the top, right? Here, not the fatty pad right there, but here on the top, right? So Sol's going to go have surgery on that. Oh, the one on the bottom. Sorry, everybody. He's going to have that removed. Wow. Wow, that's crazy. Now, that's going to hurt. I hate to tell you, that's going to hurt. So, that's going to hurt, my friend, because whenever you cut into the sole of your foot, man, it's hurtful. It's not good. You know, I've cut my foot open on glass, right? Woo-wee. Only my left foot. Pat says, that's a big lump. I had a problem on that, like that too. Removed, it sucked, yes. Dennis says he acknowledges weakness. Dennis, if pretty girls are your weakness, it's not a bad thing, right? Oh, did I tell you guys, Lorelai found all of my tropical shirts I couldn't find? I got a box, I didn't know where all my shirts went. I started going through the closet. I'm like, I am missing 20 or 30 shirts at least. And Lorelai was in her office storage extra closet room the other day and doing something. And I came into my office where she just piles crap in, just throws it in here. And I see this box and it has all of my tropical shirts in it. So I found all of my tropical shirts. I'm going to be wearing a whole bunch of different ones now. For the winter, you'll see all kinds of different ones. And if I feel up to it, I'm going to try to do a live outdoor live stream tomorrow at the park. There's a park I want to go to that has a lot of people in it. I'm going to try to take Lily if I feel up to it, and we're going to try to go to the park tomorrow and do a live stream. And watch people play tennis, all that good stuff at that park. But yeah, we hope you heal up pretty quickly. But yeah, today's been a little rough day, but I'll be all right. I'm going to do a video about dating. You guys want me to think I ought to do a video about dating, Dennis? Not dating Dennis, but Dennis, do you think I should do a video about dating? How about you, Pat? I got some advice I want to give it, and I thought of something the other day, Pat, and everybody when we were doing a live stream that dawned on me, maybe I need to do a video about online dating. So I'm going to do that. And then, in dating person. Does anybody think I got any advice to offer? Anything that might work? Hope I do. Pat says, sure, yeah. I got some tips I think will help with online dating. All this matchmaking we're doing, all of this stuff might help you guys be successful. Get it done quicker, except for Dennis. And Anyfin's already married, so, he's just going to eat his venison and have a good evening. What he's doing. What do you mean insomnia? It's only 9:42 or 10:42 where you're at. But yeah, I was kind of slow today, man. And I don't know if anybody else does this, but a long time ago, I had a friend who's dead now. Because when you get old, all of your friends are dead now. But I had a friend years ago who was on all kinds of drugs. I mean, shitloads and shitloads and shitloads of hard drugs. And when she told me, once a week she goes drug-free, or once a month, whatever it was, you should have a drug-free day. And I kind of bought into that theory that, hey, since you're on medication all the time, taking a day off may not be a bad thing or not. But I don't think it's smart. I think I've decided now that I'm older, just take your drugs. All right, I'm going to show a video. Holy shit, Dennis. Dennis. I know why you're my favorite. All right, I'm going to show it. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see what I can see here. I saw that. It gave me pause, Dennis. Let my phone. Hang on. There. Here's Soul Linder showing the sole of his foot. He's going to have his foot operated on right in there. Joe and Jenny's in the house, says hello. Yeah, there's no sound. I got it. I like, it's on your left foot. All right, Joe, how are you? I am going to be trying to build me an interior studio that's better than I got. I'm going to be working on that this winter. I'm going to try to give you guys a better studio to look at. Let me look at Dennis's video. Dennis, I got mixed feelings, Dennis, because it'd been really nice to see more of the video. But then again, my wife sees these because we share everything. So it's good that it was limited. Oh my God. I'll tell Lorelai. Joe says, that's got to be painful, Pat says. I see that. Joe says, I've been better. So you're not doing well, Joe? Oh, it's your right foot. Okay. Sorry. Right foot. Sorry. And you're showing your left foot as a comparison. I got you, Soul. I get it, man. I'm looking for your video. So Joe, what's wrong with you? What's been going on in your world? I'm getting a new pacemaker. My pacemaker's going off. So my battery's running down on my pacemaker. So next week I go for an echocardiogram to get set up for the new pacemaker, hopefully by the end of November. I'm hoping I can get it scheduled by the end of November. I'll have a brand new pacemaker that's supposed to be good for 10 years. I'm going to try to make a little video about it, about the process. All right, Joe, I understand. Not going to say anything online. Well, we hope you're getting feeling better. You can message me if you want. The right foot is the one that's getting worked on and it's slightly painful. All right. It's going to be painful after the surgery. Sorry. Because whenever you cut open the bottom of your foot, holy butt farts. Man. Joe, are you ready for the winter? I am not ready. It's still summer, it feels like, right? But I'm not ready for the winter, Joe. Joe doesn't live very far from me, a couple of hours. So he gets a lot of the same weather as I get. They're predicting that we're going to get some really bad winter this winter. So that's why I'm working so hard on finding things to keep me busy inside the house so that I don't go bonkers. So, well, one good thing is at least I'll be, yeah, you will. Yeah, you'll be put to sleep for it, which is a good thing. I agree. Joe says, no, we're close. All right. Being ready for the winter. Me either, man. I mean, it was 80 degrees today and beautiful. It's usually, the leaves haven't even turned down here yet. Usually by this time, we've gone on a car ride to go check out the leaves turning colors. I was going to go this Saturday, but it doesn't look like to Branson, Missouri, but next week, this week is, but Sunday, they're decorating the house for the Halloween party on the 25th, which is next Saturday after next. And Joe, we're going to live stream that, by the way. And I'm going to do it through StreamYard so that it can be horizontal instead of vertical so everybody gets a better view of the party. And we're going to try to get everybody to vote on the girls' costume, who has the best costume. But we got to do some grocery shopping still for the party, but they're going to come over and decorate over the weekend. Thanks for all of you. Keep me in your prayers. Absolutely, man. And thoughts during the process. I will be in surgery. What we're going to really pray for is that your doctor's not a drinker. What's up, soul? Yeah, the trees aren't changing yet. And you know what that means. If you guys don't know, in the fall, when the leaves are supposed to turn colors, and they don't because of the weather, what that means is they're just going to drop their leaves. So in a couple weeks, instead of being beautiful usually, if it holds true, the trees will just turn very quickly in a day or two and drop their leaves. All right, so now I got to do some math. Next Wednesday, wow. Soul says, next Wednesday will mark 1 month until your birthday. Soul, I'm going to send you a message. I'm going to reply to one of your messages, Soul, because I want to tell you something. Is that when yours is? And so don't say it out loud. Don't say your birthday date out loud. Crap. Keep doing that. Yeah, I've had a lot of surgeries too. They're not fun. I'm not looking for it. Oh, you want me to show the video? All right, Dennis. Sure, absolutely. Yeah. I got to show a video. You guys ready for a video? This is a video. It's a good video, Dennis. All right, let me get the camera set up, Dennis. Here's a video that Dennis sent me of one of his young lady friends that lives in South America. Reason I don't give you a call anymore is I am, Joe, to be honest, I'm always busy or something. Whether it's health related stuff, YouTube stuff, house stuff, dreaming of trying to figure out how to make money, any of those, taking care of Lorelai and Lily. I am extremely busy, Joe. You're right. I don't like being this busy, and I'm trying to figure out how to better my channel and grow and do things. Thinking about taking some online classes. So, Mexico. Well, I guess when Lorelai and I were dating, I got some of those videos. Yeah, so that's, I saw your response. Yeah, pretty weird, huh? Mexico, I met her in the airport. She works, wow. That's really cool, Dennis, to be honest. Mexico City Airport, I mean, like a big airport, like, Dallas or something, or Ontario, one of those. We've talked about this, about dating Filipinas, and look, I think Filipinas make great wives, everybody, and I encourage you to do it. But, a lot of the other countries, Thai, Mexico, Colombia, Brazil, even Honduras, I guess, a lot of countries throughout the world, Malaysia, their women make great wives compared to, American women. So Dennis is smart because, yes, he likes Filipino women, which we all do, but he's also smart and realize that sometimes, Mexico or Colombia is what, a 6-hour flight. The Philippines is a 30-hour flight. So Joe says, I am more busy now than since I retired. Boy, I understand that. The girlfriend says hello to everybody. Everybody said hello to Solinder's girlfriend. Hell, not he, hell, Lamo, yes. Let me look, Dennis. Oh. So I totally get it. I mean, I would go to, Mexico over the Philippines, I guess. But I went to the Philippines. I don't know. There's a young lady who's single in the Philippines, by the way. I don't know how old she is. Let's guess how old she is. Maybe 28 or 30 max. She's probably 5'1" or 2 inches tall. Mexico's 4.5-hour flight. The Philippines is 30 hours. You may get it less, down to 24 if you get lucky. Soul Linder says she's in her 20s. All right, Soul, I'm going to get you in trouble. Soul, are you listening? I want you to tell me, who's prettier, this girl or your girlfriend? Now, think about that before you answer, because, what's on social media never goes away. So be careful. Be careful. You're young and we're teaching you. We're going to teach you. No time change either. That's a good point. We like going to the Philippines. I like coming back to America, But I like going to the Philippines. I miss being in the Philippines for certain reasons. And there's a lot of reasons I don't miss the Philippines. And I'll tell you, to be honest, that journey to get to the Philippines is not an easy one. No time change. She's 5. See, pretty good. So says, don't tell her this is JK. She's my girlfriend. Nice try. See, you're learning. I'm teaching you. I'm your mentor, man. I'm trying to see you're smart. You recognize the trap. You know, no matter what, your girlfriend is always the prettier. And you got to remember, when you're with a girl, no, you don't even know what another girl is. You know, my wife was so jealous when we got married, I had to keep telling her, I've never even dated anybody. She would look at it, somebody say, well, you know, do you think my friend is pretty? And I'm like, who? What? What friend? What the hell are you talking about? That girl? Oh, God, no. She's ugly as a dog with her butt sticking out. You know? 31. Wow. 31, to be honest, is a really good age for a Filipina to get married. I believe this. Lorelai was 28, I think. So I think right around that 30 age or better is really good for Philippines. Now, when they get above 50, maybe not. I think they're, you know, but I don't think a 20-year-old, 21, 22, 23-year-old is a good thing. But I think that range is good. Uh-oh. Soul's learning to play the game. Better yet, Dave, who's prettier, your wife or her? Without question, I've said 5 million times, my wife is the prettiest Filipina that ever come out of the Philippines. And that's just the way it is. So, the Philippine women are known to be the prettiest women in the world. So therefore, de facto makes my wife the prettiest woman in the whole entire world. See? We have bad weather coming, Joe? I didn't see that. We're going to get some thunderstorms, or what's going on? We need some rain. I know Joe, if you haven't seen the winter forecast, they're forecasting for us, you know, between you and I, is going to be a very rough place this winter is what they're forecasting. Never look at the age, always look at what's on the inside. Yeah, see? You got to think, man. I got it. I've been doing this a long time. Yes, she wants that. I don't know. I guess, Dennis, I know this sounds bad, but in today's society, here's what I believe. A lot of times, not always. Men get married or settle down when they are ready. So there could be 500 women in front of us that we've dated, but if we weren't ready to make that commitment, it ain't gonna happen. They could be the best personality, the best everything. But if we personally just aren't ready to pull that trigger, we're not gonna do it. Once we're ready, the next good one that comes by, we marry, we take them. That's what happens, I think, with a lot of men. Jenny is 18 years younger than me. Nice, yeah, 18's all right. I haven't seen her tonight, Dennis. Maybe she's busy in the Philippines. It's Thursday there, right? Today's Wednesday, so it's Thursday in the Philippines. She may be working. We're kind of late tonight, so she may be working, Dennis. But I don't think there's a love story that we're going to give Pat some dating advice. I thought about this the other day. I think, and I don't know, maybe what we need to do between all of us is give some of our best dating advice. So, Dennis, do you have any dating advice? Soul, Joe, Pat, do you have what? I want to come up with a list of advice, dating advice, for our type of situation. So I like to hear from what everybody says. Almost noon, yes. The odds of marrying her is less than, I agree. Knowing you and your situation. So what's the odds, what's the percentage for the girl in Mexico? And is she, the question is, Dennis, something Lorelai and I talked about after she sent all your pictures was, are you ready to pick one and settle down, or are you still just having fun fishing, is my analogy. Because right now what you're doing, which is great, is fishing and catching a lot of fish. But you keep throwing them back. So one of these days you're going to go fishing, and you're going to hook one, and then you're going to take it home, cook it, clean it, and eat it. So that's my dating analogy, guys. Isn't that horrible? Father Leonard just sent me a text and wanted me to say hello. Thank you for saying hello. Appreciate that. Are you working on your YouTube channel at all, So Linder? Tell your dad we said hello. We appreciate that. So that's kind of the question, all right? Are you ready, Dennis? Because if you're not ready, you're not ready. She wants 100 from the Philippines? I'm confused, Dennis. She wants $100? 100 what? 100 kids? Or she wants 100%? What do you... I'm confused, Dennis. I can imagine she's 100% to buy in. I could see her easily going, yeah, this is a great train to hook myself to. Because, you know, the women do the same thing. And why I said that earlier is because women kind of do that. I've learned over the years, many years now, thank you all for the thumbs up, by the way, that women, when they kind of find the right person to hook their wagon to, they do. Saul says, no, I haven't had time working on my channel, but I'm going to in the future. Ah. Then it says the girl from Mexico would be a 75% marriage material, except for I'm leery that she's too young. What's her age? She looks, oh, to get me, oh, yeah. Oh, no, Dennis, you're right. To be honest, look, yeah, Dennis, the Filipinos, look, I give 99% of them, 99% would jump at it, to be honest. How old is the chick from Mexico? And I don't know him, Dennis, but just by looking at pictures, you know how I like to act like I know stuff. I would say that the girl in Mexico versus the girl in the Philippines, here's what I think. I think Mexican women, South American women, can be a little hot-headed. I don't think most Asian women are that way. So if you're wanting more of a docile marriage relationship, I think you go with an Asian. If you want a little bit more spicy, fiery in the belly type of thing, I think then South American's great. So she's 32 years old. Well, I don't know. I mean, the other girl, the Filipino's the same age, Dennis. So what makes... Would you marry the Filipina? I mean, would you marry a Filipina at 32? Do you think a 32-year-old Filipina is more suited for marriage than a 32-year-old Mexican girl? So she, she's very mature and well-grounded. Nice. I could kind of see that. She knows what she's doing. She's got her shit together, so to speak, right? About who she is as a woman. I think Filipino women don't have that. I think there's a big difference between a lot of women and Filipino women. I think Filipino women are a little bit like chameleons. They can adapt and adopt to a situation. They're who they are today. If you met them at 28, 32, whatever, they're going to shift and change because I think it's their culture, their nature. So I do think a lot of other countries, the women are, they're India, Pakistan, South America, Africa. By the age 30, they are who they are. You know what I mean? But I think Filipino women have the unique ability to be more adaptive to reality and life of their situation. Yeah, she's going to be a little immature, and not worldly, of course. Dennis, most Filipinas are not worldly at all, and you know this. It's over the years I've learned that a lot of them, especially the ones that come from the province, they've not experienced so many things. It's unbelievable. The ones that live in the city, they're not as up to date as we are either. But I think with modern technology, the internet, a lot of the Filipinas are more worldly now just because they've been exposed on the internet by talking to us, going to live streams, meeting guys, and doing things like that. But I would agree with you. But Dennis, what I would say, that can be a good thing that she's not very worldly, because then you can help shape who she becomes in that fashion. So you can help her become worldly in the right way, the way that works great for a marriage. Most are daft, yes. Yeah, I agree. Immature, look, I want to say this, and I know this may upset Filipinos if they ever watch this. I think all Filipinos are immature, my wife included. There's times that these girls, all of them, no matter what age they are immature. And I don't understand it, Dennis. But the immaturity level in Filipinos in general, I think is very high. And I think it stays with them forever. Why? I don't know. But that's what I think, and that's what I believe. It can be very frustrating, Dennis. I feel like I have the patience of a miracle man, but it can be very trying. It can be very exhausting, right? I do think they get better because I hate to use the word train. Maybe they learn your lifestyle, how you like to live, how you like to be. So I think maybe they learn and grow and focus and they get better. But I'm going to try to tell a story. I'll probably get kicked off the internet for it, but I got to be very careful about the words I use. I have a friend, a mentor. Yeah, superstitious is no doubt. Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, shit. Hello. Luckily, my wife isn't horrible, but as all the girls around her and her family, they're not. I mean, even in the Philippines, when I was there the first time, Lorelai went to the baptismal, I paid for it, of her nephew, right? Which I paid for. But I couldn't go in the church because Lorelai and I wasn't married. I couldn't buy her shoes because I can't remember why, but I couldn't buy her shoes. And we do not the Halloween, but the New Year Eve thing every year where we shake the coins, open up all the windows. We got to do the 13 fruit. We got to do all the biscotti, all this crap, right? So it can be quite exhausting. I try to roll with it, and I try to get ahead of it. It's like you got to have gold coins. Well, I got the gold coins. I got the jar with the coins in it. I got a little kit set up every year. So I pull it out so that we can get this over with. But yes, they do take direction. But here's what I was going to say, and I'm trying to be, I got to be very careful I say this. Because I don't want to offend anyone. But I have a friend, he was a mentor of mine. And he's of a different race than I am. And he's very intellectual, very smart. Wrote a book, read it, great book. He married us, Lorelai and I. And he told me one time when him and I were talking that he, and this is also somebody else very high ranking in the American government, the American government of the same race. We were talking one time about problems we had that we were all working on together in my industry. And they told me, so what they were amazed at was in this race that you got all these intellectual people, when they come together, their IQ seems to drop, right? And they start talking slang, even in business settings. And they start, going down. It feels like they're. And they told me this, and they said it's frustrating, and that they work hard to keep their people separated, not into big groups, so that people don't see them going down level, acting like they're brain dead and stupid. So, but Filipino women kind of do the same. When the girls get together, right, Pat? When they start getting together, the voices get louder and louder and louder and louder. But I've also noticed that they get more immature the more people that are around. Which is fine to be young and goofy and happy. I don't have a problem with it. I don't. But I recognize that when they get together, when you talk to them one-on-one, they're here. When they get together, they're all down here, if that makes sense. But they do take direction very well. The key, and I made mistakes with my wife, I'll tell you, maybe I'll do a video sometime. But there's mistakes that I go back now and go, damn, I wish the first couple of years I would not have done A, B, C, and D. Because I think it backfired. I think it was too early. Some of it was too early in the marriage. Some of it wasn't necessary. It was just my personality trying to do what I thought was right. So there are definitely things that I look back and go, but not in the relationship, but just in her knowledge of America and things. So I would have done some educational things much differently. But I don't know. So does anybody have any dating advice? Give me some dating advice. What's your number one dating advice, anybody? You got to have dating advice. I'm trying to figure out my number. If somebody came to me and said, David, what is your number one advice when dating? Well, me, I'm going to go, all right, first let me understand how old you are, where you're from, what's your culture. I'm going to dig deep down before I can even give an answer, because my brain goes 5 million different places when somebody asks me a question, which drives my wife crazy because she wants, hey, over there. I'm like, over there what? We can talk about the house, the moon, the stars, whatever. I go kind of deep. Kanisha's back in the house. Kanisha, how are you? Good to see you. What's your dating advice? You have any dating advice? Hi, how are you doing past Philippines? Pat in the Philippines, Kanisha saying hello to you. So that's I go down deep. Somebody asks me a question, I look at all, I can't really give you a simple answer, that. I got to look at things and go, well, this is a piece, is this a piece of chocolate? Well, wait a minute. It has chocolate in it, but it's not all chocolate. So it has the added, that's what I do. I go down rabbit holes. Well, so how does a pin work? Well, let me show you how a pin, I know you just, Dennis says, hi, Kanisha. Good to see you. Good to see you, Kanisha. I've been sending Jenny videos in regards to the U.S. Constitution. That's good. Bingo. Not to be too generous too soon. I agree, Dennis. I made that mistake. I would have done that differently. Not that Lorelai's ever took an advantage of anything, but I just realized, it was a weird transformation to come from the Philippines where you have really nothing, a suitcase, 2 suitcases full of crap, to a house with a swimming pool and cars and money in the bank and accounts and, flipping that switch, I think is difficult. And then if you go ahead and did like I did and just say, well, you have access to everything and here's you a car to drive. You've only been here a week, but here's a convertible. So I agree, Dennis. I agree. Yeah, don't be too generous. I put down not to be, but yeah, don't. Dennis agrees, Joe's agrees, Pat agrees. All right, good. So we got that. Now I need some more. I think that's really good early dating advice. And there's a lot of different ways to be generous. One thing I learned being in the Philippines, that kind of, I guess our generosity is not the same proportionally. So it's like I've told you guys in the Philippines, the Uber, not the Uber, the people that would bring us food, right? And if Lorelai wasn't there, she's like, oh, okay, the food is, 350 pesos. So have him give you back some change and give him 400, just give him 400 pesos on a 350 peso delivery. And I'm like, well, I'll just give him 500 because I got a 500 peso bill. Hell, I don't care. It's not that much money. So I would do that. And she's like, no, you're giving them way too much. You're way too generous. And I'm like, yeah, but to me, it's only a couple bucks. So we have to internalize. And I didn't understand that when we got married. I did not. The difference, I didn't understand it. You did it with your ex? Yes. Kanisha, I cut my fingers. Uh-oh. I cut my fingers I was trying to get some ice. How did you cut your fingers while you're getting ice? Did you cut it on the glass, the ice dispenser? So I think we have to understand that transformation. And I think we got to bring them along slowly. I would have just done some things differently. I would have, to be honest. I would have not involved Lorelai early on in some of the business things that I was doing. I would have just done them because I've been doing them for years by myself. I wouldn't have taught her all of this stuff as quick as I did. I would have done it slower. I should have done it slower. That's what I think. Well, I shouldn't have been in a hurry, but we got married and I taught her everything, so to speak. Here's everything. It's all yours. Here's how it works. So Dennis says, wow, Kanisha. Kanisha's out of New York. Yeah, but how did you catch your fingers on ice? Maybe it was sharp ice. Maybe it was from, the flat earth place. I don't know. But that's just something for you guys to think about. All right, Dennis gave some good advice. What about Pat and Joe? What about that? Kanisha is saying, no, I cut my finger with a knife. How did you cut your finger with your knife? Were you like stabbing the ice, I don't know. How did you do that when you're getting ice? Yeah, get them away. Show them the receipts. Pat says, not good. Kanisha, not good. I think one thing I think about when it comes from the money standpoint, and I should have did this. When I taught Lorelei American money, which I did, what I should have done is took pesos, Philippine money, and taught her American money alongside the Philippine money. And then I should have did a thing where we would go to the store and Lorelei, I would say, hey, go buy that turkey, right? And so I would want her to go buy the turkey and figure out how many pesos that turkey cost, and then she could pay it with the American money so that she would understand the difference, right? I think that is something, as a teacher, I should have done that I did not do. And I recommend that, if that makes sense to you guys. Maybe I should do an internet sensation thing, a whole program about how to teach. Not good, Kenesha? Yeah. The knife for the onions. So you were chopping onions and you cut yourself. I don't like chopping onions. They make me cry. They make me cry. I got to get some onion. I'm going to be cooking a lot of soups this winter. So I got some, once it cools off, it's too damn hot right now. It's 9,000 degrees outside. Right on. I did that with my ex-teacher also, our money. Yes. Joe agrees. Yeah. So I agree. Thank you guys for agreeing with it. You still haven't given me your dating advice. But Lorelei picked up American money release. You know what quarters are, what dimes are, you know what dollars are, 5 tens. You know, she got that relatively quick. But I really wish I would have said, okay, I want you to go buy this turkey and pay it with pesos. So therefore, they knew that from or chicken, because they don't have turkeys in the Philippines, or a bottle of soda, it doesn't matter. But something they would normally buy in the Philippines, have them go to Walmart to buy it and look at it in pesos, because then they're going to realize how much more it is in America. Pat's ex-wife was a scammer. Yes, she was. She hustled him. Cuisinart Classic. I got one of those choppers. It's on my YouTube channel. Oh, by the way, Dennis, thank you for being a member. So if everybody wants to be a member, you can be a member. I got a food chopper that I really like. I did a video on it. It's called a XOXO food chopper. It's really good. I use it a lot. I'm going to be using it a lot this winter for soups, because I'm going to become a soup expert because I bought soup recipe cookbook thing. All right, so I'm trying to get this understood. You use the knife that you cut onions with to cut the ice with, and that cuts your finger? Am I following you, Kenesha, or do I just not know what I'm doing? Pat says, sounds good. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Kenesha. Yes, hey, I got it right. Tim is in the house. Tim, how are you, buddy? Good to see you. What's going on in the Philippines, my friend? We haven't seen you in a little bit. How are you? Good evening to Tim. Everybody say good evening to Tim. If you haven't subscribed to him, go ahead and do that. When we get the snow, I won't be going out. Yeah, well, me either. That's why I got hobbies I'm working on, and I'm making a bunch of soup, and you know, I'm trying to stay busy. I got a whole list of new videos I want to make. I'm going to revamp my studio here. I'm hoping to do it differently. I don't know if it'll be nice or not, but I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to try. I haven't got it figured out what I'm going to do, but I'm thinking about rearranging the studio, making a new backdrop. Should I make a new backdrop? Get rid of, you know, this mess? Does anybody like my backdrop? Not only just that, but I mean, my little corner here. Does anybody like it? I'm thinking about changing it. I don't know how, though. I'm going to watch a bunch of YouTube videos that's going to help me figure out what to do with my little station here. Kenesha says, I cut it real. Did you have to have stitches, Kenesha? Joe said, good to see you, Tim. Kenesha, I got a nail in my skin a few days ago. Hurt like hell. Ooh. 2 quakes. Wow, 9 hours ago. Still getting quakes all over the Philippines? Were they aftershocks or new quakes, or what was the magnitude? Hey, J3 Kenesha says, yes, yes, yes. I've been telling you all along I cut my finger. Well, Tim, I hope you're safe. I hope the Philippines are safe. You know, I told people the other day, and I'm always shocked how things don't affect the Philippine people very easily. Pat says, I was outside, got a rusty nail, had to soak my right hand. Ooh. Well, you're not supposed to be playing with rusty nails. Don't you remember that from being a kid? You had to go to the hospital. Wow. Did you get stitches? Wow. I haven't injured myself lately. I mean, my heart was not doing well today, but I haven't injured myself lately. It was a 7-8 dam in Luzon. Wow. So it doesn't seem like the Philippines is settling down, does it? That's crazy. 3250 within 5, yeah. Well, what I think you guys are, we're going to have issues in the Philippines for another couple of weeks. We are. And then it's going to settle down. But I was watching a bunch of videos of the earthquakes, right, in Cebu and elsewhere. And I know a lot of people are worried, and we have family there and friends. And one of our houses is split in half, no good anymore. So we understand it, but watching the videos, somebody was talking about how horrible it was, and I said, I agree. But what I want to point out to you is if you watch these videos, so many of the people that live, so many of the Filipinos in the Philippines, when these earthquakes happen, it's no big deal. They're not panicking. They're not freaking out. They may be getting out of the way of falling debris, but it's like, oh yeah, we understand what's going on. Cadet's in the house. Been a while. Good to see you. How are you? Everybody said hello. It has been a while. It's been at least a day or two, huh? How you been doing? Kenesha always asks me what I had for dinner. And what is that behind me? I had an egg roll. I think I had a leftover egg roll, I think. Oh, Joe was saying there's a 7.8 in Luzon. Tim is asking, where was it at in Luzon? Because he probably didn't hear about it. Then it's 7.8. I didn't think that was in Luzon. I thought the 7.8 was somewhere else. The 6.3 was in Cebu, or 6.8, whatever. The 6.1 and the 7, you know. It was around Manila from what I've heard, Tim. That goes, there goes, the house got smashed, got split. Yeah, it did. It got broken. Yeah, I didn't see any. I thought there was like a 7.6. Let me Google this real quick, because I thought there was. There, let's see. There was a 7.4. Let's see if we can figure out where it was. Outside of Davao City. So the news is saying there's a 7.4 of the southern coast or the southern Philippine island of Mindanao. Early Friday morning, so that was last week. See what's the latest? 21 hours, 5 days ago. Kanisha says her friend hit a pole the other. Why? Why did she hit the pole? Don't you know that when you hit poles, it hurts? Do we know, Tim, do you know the death toll in the Philippines? I see the 7-4, so maybe Joe's thinking of the 7-4. Looking. She hurt her log, you mean her leg? Oh, here's something in the news. All right, this report, Tim. Yeah, this, I'm going to try to. Well, why did she do that, Kenesha? I see where the internet, somebody on the internet is saying a 7-9, but exact in the exact same place as a 7-4 in southern Mindanao. So maybe, you know, here's some news, like a thing. This is Earthquake Tracker. I found a website. No, Kanisha, I did not hear about a 5-year-old who died. What happened? Joe says, like I said, that's what I heard. So, 3 earthquakes in the last 2 days, or the last 24 hours. 4.9 in Davao today, it looks. Yeah, all of the earthquakes, Joe, and that's what I mean. You don't really get accurate data, but I thought I heard a couple of hundred total for the last couple of weeks, but I don't know the numbers. They've had 57 earthquakes in the past 7 days, 86 earthquakes in the last 30 days, 345 earthquakes in the last year. That's crazy. So today they had a 4.9, I guess would be in northern Manila, outside of that. You don't know what happened, Kenesha? Nine hours ago, it says a 4.7 hit Central Luzon. She was in a car. Oh man, that's horrible, Kenesha. I haven't heard that. This has everything color coded. Wow, this is pretty good. A website I'm looking at, in case somebody wants to know, is called earthquaketrack.com, and we're looking at the Philippines. Okay, about 80 dead since 30. Okay, good. Tim, thank you for that. Yeah, a lot of rocking and rolling in the Philippines, but it looks like the majority of it is outside of Davao and southern Mindanao. Just a little bit of it. Find that yellow one. 9 hours ago. And Central Luzon. Yeah, I understand. You know, bad people don't really care who they hurt or who the collateral damage is, Kenesha. So if you got somebody wanting to shoot up a car, they're going to do it, right? Or hurt somebody. A lot of people's not going to care who's around them. And in Cebu, we had a 6-something in Cebu, but that's been almost 2 weeks ago. And that's where we're from. Week ago, 4-9. Yeah, they're saying 4 days ago. Two weeks ago was the big one in Cebu, or the Central Visayas, 6-9. Everything else has been less than that. So this is a really cool map. I mean, a really cool website. It's called earthquaketrack.com. I'll show you. You guys want to see? See? Gives you everything through here. Shows you exactly where it happened. The epicenter. Yeah, but the one that we had that affected us, we have our stuff up in actually Bogo, B-O-G-O. So I know Cebu City itself got hit, but the house I'm talking about that's in the family is way up north, and it fell off the cliff. So I'm looking at the website. Sorry, I'm distracted. So they've been having them almost anywhere, all over the place. Yeah, here's one that hit us. Yeah, here's what hit us. Yeah, we've had a bunch of them in northern Bogo. A 5-7. 2 weeks ago, a 5-1. A 4-6 a week ago. This one's a 4.8 2 weeks ago. 5-7. 4-7. That trickled down to the Cebu area. So that's what's happened for us. Crazy, right? That's pretty crazy, guys. A lot of earthquakes. I didn't go back, but it would be interesting because I think this website would tell me that you could set it up to where you could go back in history. Maybe, I don't know how many years of data they're tracking, but they're probably tracking at least 25, 30 years, maybe longer. And maybe you could tell by doing some research if this is kind of like a cycle or a normal thing, you know what I mean? Oh, at least goes back, oh shit, I'm looking at, okay. So I changed the setting. Pat says, yes, it's crazy. I changed the setting to look at the biggest earthquakes in history of the Philippines from them keeping track. The largest one, 107 years ago, 8.3. And Mabay, Philippines. If I pronounce that right, 8.3, 107 years, 101 years ago, an 8 in Davao. Man, they got a lot of 52 years ago, an 8, Davao. 49 years ago, 7.9 in Shakagajaran. 77 years ago, Western Visayas, 7.8, 7.8, 82 years ago, 7.7, 114 years ago, Davao again, 112 years ago, 7.8, 7.6. Man, and it's crazy, right? Oh, I need to think about buying a barong. So that's kind of crazy. What do you guys think of that, man? Well, that's a cool website. Maybe I can copy and paste that. Where's that website? There's the website. If you guys want that website, I just posted it. So I'm kind of cool. But cool website, not cool that this happened in the earthquakes, all right? So that's crazy. I gotta close some of these things out. There we go. Uh-oh. My dog's coming to check on me. She's like, you know, you're supposed to be in bed by now. My dog's saying that. She's like, what are you doing? Still hanging out in here? You're supposed to go to bed. You're supposed to be in bed so I can go to sleep on the nice bed. I know what my dog is thinking. She's like, what are you doing? What? Oh, I know, I know, I know. I know. I guess you can't screenshot. She is, you know, at this time she's usually laying in the bed asleep, you know. So she doesn't like me not doing that. Like, you're staying up too late, man. Hey, look, I just got a notification. YouTube is offering me a course to take. Does that mean I'm special? Does it mean I like them? Oh, it's asking me to create a course. Create a course in YouTube Studios. It wants me to create my own course. Huh. Well, Tim, I've heard this a lot too. Tim says, I've heard that some expats are thinking about leaving the Philippines because of the earthquakes in the last month. They are. Sorry. I've talked to 20 expats who are currently, living in the Philippines. And there's definitely several of them that are going to pack their bags. A lot of them are worried. What they were telling me that they're worried about is the infrastructure, of course. And what I mean by that is some of them were telling me what they're really worried about is if like the banking system gets interrupted and they can't get money in the Philippines. If they have to wind up living out on the streets like a lot of the Philippine people are doing now because their houses are unstable. So some of the guys are like, I don't want to live like that. That's not how I want to live. So I'm going to come back to America for a while, and then I'll come back when things settle down. The problem with that is, what do they do with their women? Pat says, do some of the expats go back home? Yes, they do. And funny thing is, we know a lot of Philippine citizens who work abroad who have very high-level skills for companies. We know some Filipinos that work in Dubai and Indonesia and Japan, Canada, other places, not as a nurse or a teacher, but as other high-tech jobs. And we've talked to some of them, and they're starting to go, look, we don't think we're going to plan to retire in the Philippines. We're not going to plan to go back. They're now studying and trying to figure out how to get good jobs in America so they can try to become citizens here. So even a lot of the Filipinos that are high functioning and make a good living that don't live in the Philippines full time because of their job, and I'm not talking about the ones that are housekeepers. I'm talking about the ones that, can go to work anywhere in the world because of their technical skills. I've talked to some of them, and they were asking, hey, what do I got to do to get a job in America and become a citizen, because we are not going to do the Philippine thing anymore. But you're right. They happen every day, Tim. And I told some guys that, said, look, I told somebody the other day that, now look, I know right now it's kind of chaotic because of the earthquakes, but the Philippines people, the community, the environment, the infrastructure, this isn't anything new to them, right? And I've told a bunch of guys that, look, this is not new. You can just write it out and be happy. Don't worry about it. I don't think the banking system is going to get interrupted where you can't get money to live on. Now, you're going to have to spend some money to repair the houses you're in, or find a place to rent, or move, you may have to do some of that stuff. But I don't think moving out of the Philippines is necessarily the answer, unless there's other reasons you want to go. I guess it's a good way to get away from your live-in wife that you're not married to, right? I don't know. But I've told him, Tim, to be honest, that don't do it. Many are not big enough to be... Correct, Tim, correct. And I was telling somebody the other day when they called me and said, oh my God, this girl I know says that they had a big earthquake where they're from, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay. And they're like, well, what do I do? And I'm like, what do you mean, what do you do? So I had to explain to them, it's an everyday event. Don't sweat it. Now, they may hit you up for some money to rebuild their house, but you better be very careful about your donation to help the earthquake victims out. You're going to want to really make sure that they're victims. The infrastructure is not good enough to be done. Well, and that's kind of what I mean, Tim. I don't mean to be mean or nasty about this, but the infrastructure can't get any worse, right? The roads are screwed up. They're shaped wrong. They got light poles in the middle of the roads. So what does it matter if the earthquake screws it up a little bit? All they do is patch it and keep going. So you got to give them that. You got to give the Philippines a lot of props. So because they just patch and go. All right, building fell down like the Jollibee. I saw the video from up by BOGO where the Jollibee and the McDonald's, Lorelei and I ate at a few times, where it's no longer. Well, what's going to happen is they're just going to rebuild it. No big deal. But I told my friend the other day who was like, oh, you know, and I told him, I said, let me explain this to you. That large of an earthquake, the Philippines is used to. It's not a big deal. Normal earthquakes happen all the time, but the serious earthquakes are like when we get snow here. You know, in my part of the world, if we get snow, it's kind of like a big deal, but we'll get over it in a couple of days. It happens so frequently. It is what it is. It's part of the environment. So don't stress trying to help all these girls that are reaching out saying, oh my God, my house fell down. Tim, I agree with that. Never send, I agree. You know, I did it. I didn't do that. I sent money to Lorelai. But Lorelai, I'll tell you the honest truth. Lorelai's the only girl I've ever sent money to. And I've gotten a lot of, I think it's funny, I've had a lot of Filipinos over the years try to do that with me. And it doesn't work. You know, I won't send anybody money. Well, especially because I'm married. But even before then, I wouldn't send anybody money. But I did send Lorelai money because I knew where we were going to go. I already knew it. Before I met her, I knew it. And she didn't ask for money. We were talking and said, yeah, we're going to do the K-1 visa. So why don't you quit working, work on that. I got enough money. I can just send you and support you. And so I volunteered to do it. She didn't ask at all. But I agree with you. Unless it's me, Tim, never give money to somebody you haven't met in person unless it's me. Then send me all of the money you got and all the money you want to get rid of. You send it to me, I will accept it happily. If you need me to hang on to it, I'll hang on to it. You just send, but in general, great rule of thumb, don't. And when they start coming out of the woodworks, because they're kind of friends with you on Facebook, or they see you on YouTube, and they see you in a chat, they're going to hit you up. It's just the way it is. So I agree with you, Tim. Don't do that. And ask for proof. You know, my wife, even when she sends, and we don't do it much anymore, but when we were sending money to support her nieces and nephews to her sister, because she doesn't trust her sister, she made her sister give her receipts for everything. If she said, oh, I need a new washing machine, well, we bought the washing machine, but Lorelai told her to figure out how much it is, made her go buy it, made her show the receipt, because she knew that if she didn't hold even her sister accountable, that it wouldn't be there. It would be a scam. So, well, all right, my friends, it's almost 11 o'clock here, so it's time for me to get off of here for tonight. I'm going to try to do some later live streams. I'm trying to mix it up this winter. So, hopefully we're going to do some midnight live streams soon on the weekend when Lorelai gets off work. You know, we're going to try to do that again. And remember, we're doing a live stream for Halloween on the 25th at 5 p.m. All right? Pat, we appreciate you. See ya next time. 10, everybody. Joe, everybody's still in the house. We appreciate everybody. Thank you all for the thumbs up, the support. That's right, especially me. Take care, guys. We will see you guys soon. Hang in there.